Ah,
Don't yell.
why not?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's a low energy day.
It's a low energy, but that's not good for the second episode.
The 6-minute episode.
No, I meant the second episode of our podcast.
Oh.
I would hope our podcast is longer than 6 minutes. The last one was already double the length of the thing.
Then that's on period.
Yeah. What was I thinking of?
Me.
Oh my goodness. Can you not on the podcast? What was I thinking? Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, because we already started with the thing that's 6 minutes, but I was gonna say that like I think the whole way Ruby is made, even from the beginning, is they basically make what is kind of like a small movie and then cut it up into episodes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that. Especially because, like, I remember when I watched it on Amazon, it was just like one thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's how they put it out on other services half the time. They put it out as one chunk. And usually there's like blackouts in between when the episodes would break, but for the most part it's usually one solid chunk. But anyway, hi Deja.
Hello. I'm very tired.
Yeah.
But it's also my fault because I am unhealthy and work the night shift.
Mood. But we watched this time on this episode of What's Your Favorite Fairy Tale, dropping the title.
Period.
We watched Volume 1, Episode 2, A Shining Beacon. Don't yawn into the mic.
See, I was silent.
Oh my goodness.
The last time we did a podcast, I would just burp.
Yeah, that podcast, I mean, it's up, but it's private, so people can't find it. So.
Period. Yeah. I don't know why I keep saying period. Maybe it's a period episode. That's
gross.
Find out and see.
That's gross. Yes.
As someone who menstruates on a regular, I feel like I should be able to say that.
Yeah, but why would we have to specify if it's the period episode?
I don't know, because I keep saying period for no reason at all.
Still. Anyway, let's get in. We should get in. We should hop right. Let's just hop right in. Yeah, let's just hop right into it. Let's hop right in. I guess we should do the summary first. So, in a.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you need to wake up. That's the thing. We should have waited, but we already watched the episode. So let's get this bread, gamers. What was I thinking of? Oh yeah. So in accordance. Yeah, he does that. We record next to my rabbit. Hi, Oswald.
That man is munching.
He do a chew. He's a good. I like. This is just Deja.
I'm mesmerized.
My goodness. Okay.
You can continue.
This is tangents are great on podcasts. So in accordance to what we were just talking about with them making it all in one chunk, it starts basically exactly where the last one left off, where Yang and Ruby, our two current protagonists, are stepping off the airship onto Beacon Academy's campus.
Oh, so John throws up in a trash can.
Yeah, but
I feel like that's important.
I don't think we said his name yet.
Have we not? I thought we said it last week.
I said who he was inspired by, but I only call him Vomit Boy. Yeah.
You're right. My memory's in the trash.
It's okay. We'll get to him soon enough. But yeah, I mean, actually, that is where the thing starts. It's when we see Vomit Boy step off the airship and vomit into a trash can, and Ruby and Yang follow him. And then next, we get like a solid minute of...
Stop.
Oh my god. Deja just took the longest yawn. I'll have to edit that part out probably because I did nothing during that time. But yeah, we step off the airship. Yang and Ruby get a solid minute of being amazed by the campus.
Which I can't relate to at all. But I feel like that's because I'm on a shitty ass campus.
Campus is okay.
I mean, it's not shitty, but I'm just like, I don't know.
It's not a castle.
Exactly. It's just college.
Yeah. I was just thinking of... I don't know where the fuck you went to, like, middle school, but it's not like our...
Depressing.
It's not... It's not like high school was very impressive. That was a flat-ass high school. Anyway. So, Ruby is immediately amazed by everyone's weapons. Because fucking... You know...
As she should.
Well, she's a weapons buff.
Yes.
We find out that everyone who went to a, like, I guess pre-academy signal, who majored in hunting in high school in this world, they design and build their own weapons.
Did you do that shit in high school?
We took a major in high school. I literally mentioned this last episode.
But I'm saying, I'm like thinking about if I was like in that position, like trying to be a huntress at that time. I didn't know who the fuck I was.
I mean, I don't know. Well, we see later
but I feel like it's different for them because they knew what they wanted to do.
And also, they live in a world where monsters are constant, so building your own weapon isn't exactly like you need to be a huntress. It's more like, hey, don't die when you leave a city. But, so yeah, Ruby's amazed at everyone's weapons. She brings out her scythe to be like, yeah, mine is cool though. And we're like, yeah, you right. And then Yang is like, hey, I'm leaving you alone. Which honestly, that's pretty accurate to the first day of any school.
It's your first day here, so I'm gonna leave you by yourself.
Well, yeah, that happens.
Yes.
You know one person at a school and they immediately leave you. That'll go down. Anyway, Ruby is confused because she's a little antisocial butterfly, and she gets all turned around, and then she falls down into someone important's luggage. Someone important. You could say they're almost a title character in some ways. I'll say her name. We'll try and make this dramatic. I'll say her name when someone else says their name. But it's a very prissy young woman. You know, white dress and heels, looking very official. And she has like a whole lot. She has the Zach and Cody luggage cart. You know the one I'm talking about.
Why did you have to say the Zach and Cody
because
luggage
it's in the title sequence of that show.
I know it's in the title sequence, but did you have to?
Because it's fun. I like referencing that Deja, I have no personality. It's all references in here. It's references all the way down. But yeah, this prissy young woman in a white dress and literally a crown. She has a fucking crown.
She has a crown?
Yeah, most people. She has the big ponytail. She has that anime ponytail.
Yeah.
And most people would just tie it with a hair tie, but she has a fucking crown securing it. It's not like noticeable. It's very tiny. Like, imagine what a clip-on crown would be.
Because I literally just forgot.
It's there. Yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm trying to say. But this...
Why do you always stop when I look at
Because I'm going to have to edit so much of the stops out. I mean, they're only like a second, but still. I don't want it to, like, stop. But this young woman is very upset at Ruby. Because...
she ran into her luggage with the dust.
Well, yes. Well, that's the point. Is that she ran into the luggage, which has dust in it. Which... is, as we discussed, the ammunition of this world, and this young lady has a lot of it.
He is really going at it.
He's just munching on his own thing right back there. My goodness. But when we discussed this during the episode, she's yelling at Ruby to be careful with the dust, and she immediately opens...
He said, let me take out this fire dust and wave it around.
Yes, exactly. She immediately opens what appears to be some kind of bulletproof velvet case, both, because it's like red inside, and you know she's fancy. But it's definitely like padded to make sure they don't, explode. But she takes it out anyway, and waves it around, and it gets in Ruby's nose, which causes a chain reaction, and they fucking explode in the middle of the courtyard.
Because she sneezes.
She sneezes.
I was about to say something, but that gives it away.
What?
Her name.
Her name? Oh, yeah. No.
I don't know what I was going to say, but I was going to try to say something.
You were going to try to... We'll get...
I was going to try
It's
to
literally
make a
the
joke,
next thing.
But I can't make a joke because I'm terrible at it.
Oh, my goodness. You're fine. But the vial of dust this young woman was waving around rolls down the pavement because it exploded, and it hit someone's heels, who picks it up and looks at it, only to look back to see this young woman, I'm about to say her name, but we're getting to that, screaming at Ruby. And Ruby's getting upset.
As she should.
Yeah, as she should, because you literally, like, if someone was like, be careful with this explosive, and then started waving it in my face and it went off, I'd be like, I don't feel guilty about this anymore.
I was like, the same explosive you wanted me to be careful with?
And then they kind of do that classic thing, where it's like, where Ruby is like, who do you think you are? And then the young lady who picked up the dust vial comes in to introduce the other one as Weiss Schnee. And Weiss is all like, yeah, I'm great. And then the other young woman immediately goes into the fact that, eat the rich, because the Schnee Dust Company, who is the largest dust company in the world, apparently exploits a lot of its workers, and
surprise,
and probably has criminal ties, which we'll only get into in about 6 volumes from now.
I mean, you can see it happening in real life.
Yeah. Well, yeah, if you want to look at the real world correlations, then you don't have to wait very long.
I hope that didn't pick up, because I just burped.
It's fine. It was a tiny burp. But yeah. So Weiss is offended and storms off, and Ruby is like, well, that happened anyway, and she turns to talk to the other lady, who is immediately gone, because she doesn't care. She's very moody like that.
That's who I was trying to be in high school.
You did pretty well. I just thought you were quiet, though.
I mean, I still am.
Yeah.
And I get attacked for it at work.
Well,
by a certain someone.
Deja, we can't. Yeah, I was gonna say, can't call out ShopRite workers on the podcast.
I can do what I want.
No. Yeah, she's gone, and Ruby's sad when she's helped by none other than Vomit Boy, who's Jean. His name is Jean Arc. We learn that in the next scene. But yeah, they end up walking around.
Stop.
I know. Well, stop yawning.
I can't. I'm tired.
You're tired.
I'm always tired.
Always tired.
I'm unhealthy and in college.
You're gonna... Well, I mean, that part's fair. I was gonna say, we're recording a podcast the next day. You gotta try and be healthy for the cast.
When am I ever healthy?
That's fair. But yeah, they're walking around on campus talking about stuff because they both had a pretty rough first day on their first day at this new school. John introduces himself formally, and then Ruby, because she knows literally nothing else, brings out her scythe and is like, ain't this shit neato?
Conversation starter.
Honestly.
I mean, with a weapon like that, it's pretty...
Yeah. What else are you going to talk about when you got that thing strapped to your back?
Exactly. And that's on what?
Period?
Yes.
It's a period episode. I hope it's not. That's not a great theme.
Don't call it that.
Exactly. You made it up. Oh, Lord. So, she's like, this thing's neato. And he's like, what the holy shit? And she tries to explain it, and he immediately doesn't know. Which hints us into one of the bigger twists later in the volume. But she just sums it up. You probably don't remember it.
I'm not gonna lie, I literally did not hear a word you just said. Like, I did not process in my head.
Fully zoned out. I was saying it hints us into one of the twists.
Yeah, I got that, but before that, it was lost.
I was saying he has no fucking clue what Ruby says in terms of explaining her weapon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. John's a little thick. A little thick. Anyway, but then she says the catchphrase of the show, which is that it's also a gun, because most things shoot in this world. And John pulls out his weapon, which is just a sword and a shield, and the shield folds up, which isn't actually that helpful, as he explains, because it weighs about the same.
Isn't it like a sheath too?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He puts the sword in the shield folds up, it becomes the sheath, which is about the same as just kind of leaving it out as the shield.
For a second, I was afraid that wasn't the terminology for it, but...
No, you're right, but, yeah. That. That part. And then, what was I thinking of? John explains that he didn't build his weapon. Everyone here, and they do touch on this very little throughout the rest of the series, everyone who joins a Huntsman Academy, for the most part, builds their own weapons. Ruby built Crescent Rose, and he didn't build it. It was a hand-me-down from his great-grandfather, who fought in the war, which is semi-important. It's mostly world-building.
What weapon would you build?
What weapon would I build?
Yeah.
I thought about this. I'm really into Bloodborne. And in Bloodborne, there's the, it's like a switchblade kind of. What's it called? It's like saw cleaver, which is like a very round, large knife. And then you switch it open, and then it becomes larger and you can swing it around more. And I was thinking I would have one of those, but the hilt is like a small cannon, basically. So when it's folded up, you can start firing it. And when you open it up, it's more for the swinging portion and everything. And like I was thinking, if there was like a specific move, you could cleave it into a Grim in the open position, fire the gun, and then like it would basically just cleave the Grim in half, which I thought would be neat. Ruby kind of does a thing like that in the first trailer. What weapon would you build?
I haven't given this much thought. Oh my goodness.
That was my mom. Great for... So much of this audio is going to need to be trimmed a bit. More so than the first episode.
But, I don't know. I'm kind of like John, where I like a sword. The sword and shield combination, classic. I remember seeing, like, an image of, like... It was, like, a sword, and it was, like, kind of, like, wrapped around, like, a belt. So, like, when you weren't doing anything, you could have it as a belt, which I thought was kind of cool. But I don't really know the logistics of that. And how that would kind of work.
I'm almost certain you saw that from Adventure Zone.
Was it?
It's from the second season, which you didn't watch. You like the third season, which I'm not about to make you watch all the rest of the show. But in the second season, which I don't like that much. Like, I love Adventure Zone, but the second season is probably my least favorite. And this is one reason, the only kind of fantastical weapon is a sword called Beacon, actually. And it's like...
Oh, crossover.
Yeah, and it's a fucking flexible rubber sword. It's like half sword, half whip. And when...
That's perfect for me.
It is. Also, it has lips. It has a fucking mouth. It talks.
I don't like that.
Yeah, well...
I don't like that. I don't like that.
You know the sword...
You know what it reminds...
The sword from Soul Eater?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was about to say, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly that. But he uses it as a belt, which I have to say isn't great for multiple reasons. One is that he has a pair of lips right above this character wears a pair of lips right above his junk, which is very suggestive. Ladies. But also, bringing it back to Ruby, Jean is clearly trying to be like, ladies. But Ruby's not about to be down with that. He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. He doesn't even try with Ruby. I've thought about that before. John, for all his like, I'm trying to be a ladies' man, never really, I don't want to say cares about Ruby, but he's me like, you're a friend.
I feel like Ruby just gave off that energy, though.
Well, that's what I was trying to say. I, like, not small, kind of small spoilers. There's plenty of, like, semi-romance in the rest of the show. Ruby doesn't do shit. Which is either...
Ruby has better focuses.
Yeah, well, that's what I if the show ended, and Ruby in particular was just like, I ended up with no one, I would not be upset. I'd be like, yeah, that fits. Whether she is asexual or whether she just doesn't... I mean, does not caring about relationships count as asexual? I guess not.
There's different types of asexuals, because there's some people who will have... Hold on. Asexual and aromantic.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah. So asexual is when they have no sexual attraction.
Mm-hmm.
So some people still have no sexual attraction, but still have romantic relationships or still have sex. It just depends on the person. And that's the same thing with, like, aromantic people. Like, they'll have no romantic attraction, but they'll still be in relationships and they'll still have sex and this, that, and the third. So it just depends on the person.
That was the thing, well, that's why I specifically said asexual. Because, like, I mean, there are literally moments where people are like, hey, that guy, or whatever. And Ruby doesn't fucking take the bait at all. She's like, yeah, whatever. So, if Ruby came out as the asexual rep in Ruby, I don't want to give anyone false hope, but if that became true, I'd be like, yeah, that fits. She's much more obsessed with guns. Also, we said we were going to mention this, but much like you, my best friend, the voice actress for Ruby came out as non-binary not too long ago. So, that also works. But anyway, we're going to finish up the episode now. What?
I said, I was just gonna mention, cough.
Cough. It's a big announcement. You gotta get the coughs out first.
Don't say it's a big announcement, like. But I'm just gonna say that my pronouns are she, they, and I also like to be called they most of the time because I don't hear it enough, and I like to hear they.
I was gonna say,
you know, I don't hear it a lot.
I saw.
And then all the time I'm at work, it's she and ma'am, and sometimes even a he, and that is disgusting. And I hate it so much when they say sir, and I'm like, who the fuck
Sir.
are you talking to? Because I'll fight you right now in the middle of this goddamn grocery store.
I say that sarcastically because of YouTube. Because YouTube, I watch where one of the jokes is that they just call out in the middle of public, sir.
And then I turn around and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I was like, you could have just said, can you help me? And not have anything at the end of that.
I'm so sorry I didn't see your bahongadongas.
You didn't see my big old titties. Every time someone says sir, I'm like, can you not see these big old titties sitting on my chest?
Great. But what was the thing? Yeah, but as we're wrapping up the episode, they're kind of, I do want to get back to the one thing where John mentions the war, which we don't get tons of.
Did he move that?
Yeah, he moves it a lot. Oh my goodness, he's wrestling it. Anyway, but John mentioned...
What am I thinking of?
I don't know. Wrestling?
Shit. Yeah, there was like... Oh my god, I was going to say a move and I can't remember.
No. I don't know wrestling either. Yeah. But John mentions the war. And I think a key part about that... I mean, there's lots of key parts. We can get into it in the next episode because it's semi-important. But one of the key parts... we can get into it now. One of the key parts is I'm pretty sure Atlas was the main aggressor. They kind of kicked things off and everything in a war against all four kingdoms.
That's Ironwood, right?
Yeah, Ironwood. But he's in Volume 2. We saw him as we were scrolling through the episodes. And then the second part, apparently, in lore, is that one big part of the war is there was a lot of censorship. Art was not big during the war. So afterwards, in remembrance, and to make sure it can never die out again, they started naming their children after colors. Which is why Ruby is Ruby. Weiss is literally white in German. So I guess there's some acknowledgement of the fact that all of their names are representative of some color. But yeah, so John mentions that Ruby's like, I like your sword, much like Deja. The sword's neat.
It's classic.
Yes.
I feel like in any fighting game, if there's a sword, I want it.
Same, except in Smash Brothers, where everyone complained that there's a new sword. Then, much like any children on their first day of school, they realize they have no fucking idea where they're going. And that's where the episode ends.
That was me at high school.
Same though.
They were like, here's the map of the school, and here you're going to do a scavenger hunt to get familiar with the school.
That's
and I ran
the
around
worst.
in fucking circles trying to find anything.
Literally just let them.
And then I got lost trying to go back to my math class.
Literally just let them. Yeah, so that's the second episode. Deja, how did you like this episode?
Watching it back, it like relived a lot of memories for me. And I don't know how I feel about that. But you know, it was a good episode.
Yeah.
Very short.
Short
and sweet.
Yeah, I would say like we now live in the times when you can binge 8 seasons of Rubies at this point in like a day. So don't watch this episode like we do, like once a week, how it released, because it's very short and you probably won't get your worst out of it. It's good to help keep building the world, but just, you know, keep going through. You'll learn some stuff and then you keep going. So it's fun. Deja, are you ready for your favorite section, trivia?
Yes, the favorite section that I had no idea was happening.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Should I sing a little theme?
No. We don't do themes on this show. I swan to John.
Sing a little tune.
Sing a little ditty. So apparently half of this episode was shown with the first one during the Rooster Teeth convention, RTX, in 2013. Specifically, the scene where Ruby explodes in the middle of the courtyard.
Period.
Which, I mean, is kind of the best part of the episode. Apparently, in the DVD, which I own, but we're not watching it on that, because, I mean, we're going to watch the whole series, and that is only the first 3 seasons. For some reason, they cut it off after season 3. I can't imagine why. Spoilers.
They said you're not going to get any more.
Well,
but also, season 3 was season 3.
Season 3.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. But apparently in the DVD, it cuts off into the next episode in John's last line, which is, as it should. And then this isn't on the wiki, but I figured I'd say it. A lot of weapons have names. And I'm pretty sure this episode is the only one where one of them is said in the show. We can fact check that as we do the rest of the episodes, but Ruby calls her weapon Crescent Rose, and we are never clued into what the rest of the cast call their weapons.
They said, y'all don't need to know this.
Exactly. For example, some important characters just have their weapons called Blank's weapon, but some have their weapons named. For example, Weiss's is named Mertenaster. It's a rapier. You see it strapped to her belt in this episode. And apparently, Jean's, as I'm looking this up, is Crochet Moors, which I'm imagining is some kind of French. Give me.
Why French?
I don't know. What is I thinking of? Let's see. What does it name? What is it named? Blah 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 blah. For Yellow Death, because John's main thing is yellow.
For Yellow Death.
Yeah.
For Yellow Death.
We mentioned before that Jean is based off of, Joan of Arc. I don't know if that's like a plague reference. I'm pretty sure Joan wasn't around for like the Black Death, but still, it's a little weird.
You're a little weird.
What else I think? Also, apparently, before it was revealed, it was just called the Sword and Shield. There's only 2 new characters, technically, in this volume. 2 of them being the...
episode?
Yeah. Episode. Yeah, I guess there's a lot of new characters in this volume.
Yes.
Actually, I did a count for reasons. I think there's only 15 characters introduced in this volume.
That's all you need.
And, well, no, Roman. So that would be 16. But 4 of them are the bullies. Do you remember them at all or no?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. They are not important for the rest of the show. And we only see the main one once during volume 3. During an exchange in battle. In exchange. But yeah, so...
I was about to make a drag reference, but...
You can do it. Don't, Deja. You're alienating audiences by not...
Alienating audiences.
Yeah, because you tease a drag reference. But Weiss, as fucking obvious as it can be.
I felt like you just attacked me on that Weiss.
Weiss. White. I mean, she has it's German. It's a name you scream. Weiss is very obviously... Weiss might be the second most obvious. She's Snow White. Her name means white snow in German. It's pretty... Her theme is mirror, mirror. Like, it's pretty obvious. And then the mystery girl, the woman of mystery. Who could that be? She's Belle.
My favorite Disney princess, and
yes.
That's on period.
And one of your favorite characters in the show, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
For many reasons.
Yeah.
She's Nito. But, I mean, we don't Go on.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I want to say that she's a wife, but I don't know. But I just like her a lot. I don't know. She's like, I have a couple people that are like on the cusp, like they could be a wife, but they're not exactly there. But they're not far from the line.
Did we explain wives in the last episode?
Wife?
No, wives.
What? Oh. No, not really. Yeah. I just talked about Glinda.
Yeah. Wives are just the name of Deja's big old crushes. And there's a couple in Ruby. So 2 of them were in the last
There's a lot.
episode.
Oh my goodness.
What?
Because I remember we get some more. And I was like, I remember we get to some that I haven't seen in a while. So.
But yeah, without saying their name yet, because I like that dramatic reveal, we'll get into some more trivia. Monty Owen, creator of the show, who is still alive at this point in production, rest his soul. I'm sad he's gone. He was a creative person. He kind of wrote Ruby backwards in a sense. Like his development was a little I don't want to say all over the place, but it went different places. It wasn't just linear. And one of the first things he did is come up with how the name was spelt, which is RWBY. And she was like, why the fuck did I spell Ruby this way? And the reason is, and we'll get to the reason, I think, in like literally halfway through the season, but it's an acronym for the 4 main girls' name. And we met R and Y in the first chapter, and in this chapter we got W and B, because tying it back to their colors, their names also correspond with the color. So it's red, white, black, and yellow, which is a pretty unique color scheme. Yeah.
I don't know. You just stopped and looked at me.
Oh, I wanted your reaction to it.
Was I supposed to have a reaction?
I don't know. We can get into this a bit because we saw some Grimm before, but Grimm's also share the color scheme.
Of Ruby?
Yeah, of the team. They have all their whole body is made up of red, white, black, and yellow. So interesting. I mean, you also see it in the title sequence, which, like, I think so all the music in Ruby is made by a father. Yes.
Nothing.
Should we not keep doing the podcast? Should I just stop saying trivia?
No, because I'm just like, I'm just sitting here and I'm like, what if I just covered my hand over the mic? I'm just being very destructive right now. It might just be because I'm tired, but continue.
You're in a fever, Drew. We'll finish it off around here. I love the title sequence for the first season. It's probably one of my favorite title sequences ever.
I can't remember them all to say. But
yeah, exactly.
I do like this one a lot.
Yeah, what's your favorite? In which volume? You won't get into it now, but which volume has your favorite title sequence? Like, what's the most memorable, would you say? Oh my goodness.
I feel like it's hard for me to say because I'm, like, halfway biased because Volume 3 is, like, one of my favorites. So, like, I'm obviously thinking about that title sequence. But, like, I can't remember the rest of them off the top of my head right now. So.
But, yeah, all the music for Ruby is done by a father-daughter duo, guitarist Jeff Williams and his daughter Casey Lee Williams. And she was really young when she did the music for Volume 1. She was like early teens.
Is she around our age?
I'm not sure. She might be. I want to say she was 11 when she did the title sequence for this, but that would make her 2 years younger than us. And that would be... Okay, wait, let's look this up. Let's look up how... We didn't
rehearse that.
No. But you want to know something? I get you were trying to do news. That was the theme to Mortal Kombat.
I know. I was like, I don't know what the hell I was trying to do. But
you were trying to do news, and now I'm realizing fucking...
Yeah, I was trying to... Because I've been listening to a different podcast, Sloppy Seconds, with Meatball and Big Jipper. I love that podcast. But they were like, there's a section where they put in the news music. So I literally was thinking about that in my head and sang a different song out loud.
That's fine. Oh, so she is 1 year older than I am.
Okay.
She was born, actually, she's less than a year older than I am. She was born in November 1998. So she's very close to her age, which would mean she was about 14 when she did the title sequence for Ruby Volume 1, which is impressive because the song rocks. Also her case file picture has her looking very familiar.
I was about to say it out
loud.
Yeah.
I mean, you could argue we could say it, but because that character doesn't say a fucking word, so it's not like, so it's not like they have...
So it's not like...
It's not like we're going to spoil their personality much. They have personality. They're very charming, but that's Volume 2, which is a good volume. Speaking of, like, the future volumes, I think, and we'll get into more of this when we talk about them, Volume 2 was, like, a clear step up in the animation for a lot of reasons, and then Volume 3, I would argue, was where it hit its stride. Like, Ruby's...
Yeah, like the stepping stone.
Yeah.
Is that the right terminology for that, the stepping stone?
I don't know. But I was just going to say, because, like, in Volume 4, they updated the animation program, which is fine. But, like, I feel like if they had kept the Volume 3 style, I would have been very happy, because it still kept a lot of the rough edges Ruby had started with, but still was like charming and was a clear upgrade in how they were making the show. Obviously, I don't know if it's Rooster Teeth's biggest success, but it's probably up there. It's next.
I'd imagine so.
Yeah, it's up there. Do you know what Red versus Blue is?
Yes.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that's how it goes. Like people think of Red versus Blue, and then Ruby. So, which is cool.
With the robots.
No,
Are they robots?
No, they're Halo characters.
Got it. I was like, something about it.
They're Master Chiefs.
Something like it.
I don't actually know if they're probably different models than Master Chief, but they all look like Master Chief to me.
The only thing I know about Halo is that video you showed me.
Which one?
The one where the guy was reading the books.
Oh yeah, Brian David Gilbert. Go watch him. He doesn't make those videos anymore, but he still makes good videos. But yeah, so that's the episode, Deja. I think we've officially talked enough that cutting out all the moments where I sat and stared at you won't matter as much. So I'll go through and scrub those out a bit.
Look, we got 37 minutes out of a 6-minute
That's longer than the last
episode.
one. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of trivia to cover.
Look at us.
Look at us. Look at us. We're doing great.
I feel like there's a reference I could have made. My brain's on slow.
Oh, it's the Paul Rudd one. Look it up.
Oh, yeah.
Who would have thought? But yeah. Damn it. I just realized we had an outro last time.
We did?
We did. I think it was Everything's a Gun. If you're that was it.
Oh,
Everything's a
yeah.
gun if you're brave enough. Because I rewatched some of the last episode just to be like, is this okay? And I was like, it's fine. But yeah. So it was nice talking to you as always. Handshake.
As if we're not about to just hang out after this.
Yeah, well,
like I just leave.
we got tight schedules, so we fit in podcasts when we're hanging out.
Tight schedules. Because I've got shit that I never can get done.
I got school and work. She's got school and work. Unhealthy.
That was really low. ASMR.
Babe, you got it. I was about to be like, maybe we need to talk. I need to speak down. I think you need to speak up, or else
That's why we're like.
That's why we balance out. That's why we'd be on our own team in Ruby. But yeah, so it was nice talking to you.
Just like a 2-person team. What would we be?
Well, we'd be DD. So I always imagine if we had to be on a team, I think it would be Team Dark, kind of like fucking Sonic. It would be DDRK. So we would need to find 2 other people. We could have someone named Raven. Whether it's the Raven we knew in high school is up for debate. And I don't know what the fucking K is, but that
Karen.
That's cool, Karen. It's Raven from high school, and then Karen from Pokemon, which is the only good Karen. So, but yeah.
I have a question to ask you, but I can't ask right now.
After the podcast?
Yeah.
Well, then,
Or I can ask it later in the podcast. I'll probably ask it later in the podcast.
Okay.
Either or. It doesn't matter.
We can do both.
Okay.
Okay. But as we always say, everything's a gun if you're brave enough.
Everything's a gun.
Everything's a gun. See you later.